G'day everyone, welcome back to In My Shed on BC. Let's get to work. Okay guys, a little bit of close-up footage for you. This is the Astra Elite tool and cutter grinder, and it's beautifully made, but I have never seen anything quite constructed in this fashion. And I've seen lots of bloody aviation gearboxes and there's no bloody bolts holding the pulleys on, not even a screw, they're just glued together. However, the stub shaft of the wheel head has a very neat arrangement to pull it onto the main shaft. Now, try and get a pointer. The motor shaft is beautifully ground and it's stepped and keyed. So the pulley is just put on, whistle Loctite and press back until it comes up against the shoulder. Well, Bob's your uncle, that works really well. This particular pulley is the same, it's keyed and it's just pushed back until it makes contact with the shoulder back inside on a bearing retaining nut. It's this front part that's the bit of magic, and it's also as weird as rocking horse shit. I'll put the pieces together for you. First up, I'll say that the end of the shaft is beautifully ground and faced. That part of it is, yeah, there's been some good machinists working on this. Okay, that's a stud that screws in there. Here is an internal taper on the stub shaft. Goes over the taper and screws on, although I've pulled it out too far. And then you have the wheel stub sitting on front of it, and it's 13mm by I think 1.5 pitch. As I said, it's weird as rocket horse shit, this one. Why they would go to all of this extent to make something that's difficult, I just don't know. Okay, we take that out, keep all the little shitty bits together. What I'm hoping now is I can just put a wedge into the split casing here and pull the bearing cartridge out. That's with a little bit of luck and some help from God. Okay, bring you back later when we progress this. Okay, this one's for all you young guys that haven't pulled a quill out of a machine before. After you struggle with all of the pulleys, etc., you're left with a bearing housing, and I'm hoping that the pulleys on the rear will go through the main housing. But this is the quill outer assembly. I've driven a couple of engineer's wedges in there. Now to get it free, I just put the brass drift on the back and gave it a whack with the copper hammer. It came apart quite freely. That's about as far as she wants to go with these, but yeah, I'll just put a little pry bar in there and worm it out, and it'll come out quite well. And then we'll take it over to the bench and have a look at what's built up in a quill. I may pull it apart, but I have a suspicion that there's a couple of lubrication screws there, and if that is the case, that'll make it really easy. Okay, bye for now. Okay guys, this is the quill out of the Astra Elite TNC grinder. They're reasonably simple, just an inner shaft, and that shaft is made of very good material and highly ground, so they have put a lot of work into it. I just think they didn't need a rocket scientist to design it. That particular pulley has a little grub screw that I'll have to remember to tighten up if I'm not going to push the shaft out. Now, both ends have a ring nut with two pin spanner holes in it, and that will be for pre-tensioning the bearings, and I believe in the middle is a big spring that pushes the bearings out. That was from Alan's Home Engineering. He gave me that spiel. Okay, let's pull one of the screws out and see what we get. Put that where we can see it. get you in a little bit closer. And there's a little bit of greasy stuff down in there, but nearly enough. I think what happens with a lot of these prehistoric machines, they load it with a high-speed, very thin grease, and the reason you have the viscosity low is so that the grease can remain fluid and create a lubricating edge as everything's moving inside there. But the problem with the lighter grease is all the volatiles piss off into the atmosphere, and after about 20 years you're left with a grease is still thin but it's not fluid anymore, and when it heats up it won't run down into the bearing areas. You can see there's a little bit of oil being weeping out past there, but I'll bet to Bob if I pump that full of Graham suggested 10 weight oil, but I think I'd opt for a little bit of grease. I might do a grease and oil mixture. And luckily with this particular wheel head, it's always operating in the horizontal. It doesn't get tilted either way, so there's very little chance of the oil escaping out and causing a nuisance. Okay, I have ordered a couple of the little lubrication squirters. I don't know whether I'll wait for them or just push a bit of grease in. We'll let you know what we do and put it back together and see if we can make some noise later on. Bye for now. Okay guys, grinder 3 up and running with a gut full of lube. It still sings, but the song is only half the volume it used to be. A lot of what you can hear now is a solar powered ceiling fan. Smart electrical engineering, no off switch. And I'm afraid I can't get up there. Suppose I could use a long stick, poke it in the eye. It's been running for a few minutes now. One thing I do notice is it's not going up and down in pitch like it used to. It's just singing a constant song. And I think that'll be good for probably another 30 years of tool grinding. Okay, bye for now. Well guys, from me to you, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope we're prosperous and not at war or something silly like that. I've had a bit of fun this year. A lot of hard work, shifting camp, etc. But yeah, I'm making videos a bit more regularly now and getting a few bob for it. $9.33 so far allocated. So I think I've rejuvenated the 3 PNC grinders, and I'm sorry about the din in the background. That bloody solar fan's going to get a piece of rope thrown up in the air, I think, and then I'll probably have a rope fire. Okay, leave me any comments, not too derogatory. I'm sick of those, and they're not needed. Get out in your shed, make a bit of swarf, not to get away from the cheese and kisses on the kids. Bye for now, like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next year.